Good morning. It is Monday morning and we have a busy week this week. We are going to attempt to get the website up, hopefully today, but very quickly so that we can start taking orders, managing the orders, things like that, and then put together a Facebook campaign to actually start promoting it, hopefully get some steady clients, get some predictability in selling these so that we can then move on to figuring out systems for making the business efficient. Jill and all the kids are still asleep. We've had a number of late nights by accident. The last few nights ended up staying up watching some YouTube. Whoops. So I think everybody's a little tired. And so today, Jill also has another osteo appointment to look at her eye. And it's also planting day, so with the kids I will plant a new set of trays. Hopefully actually get around to washing the old trays from last planting, as well as sweeping the floor, things like that. This building is like 100 years old, so it's one of the oldest buildings around here. This is not an old part of the world. 100 years old is an old building. And we have basically there's never been any evidence of mice in this building at all, ever, except for the last year. We have had multiple infestations. It's getting really annoying. And just as I was getting up this morning, I was in the pantry and I heard a crunch, 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 crunch. And when I checked it out, there was definitely mouse droppings in the corner of our pantry. We keep thinking we clogged the holes, and they keep coming back. So I'm gonna have to set some traps. I'm gonna set a trap up here because I definitely don't want mice in our growing room. That would be no good. So we need to be vigilant in protecting that. And I also need to call Home Hardware, see if we've got a new bag of soil, because I ordered one. They have to order it in for me, and I think we have enough to plant our trays. If not, I'll have to pick up a small bag just to hold us over till the big bag, another one of these bales, comes in. All right, let's get watering. My mustard seems to have adequately recovered after it wilted there the other day. Give it some water and it's popped all back, looking beautiful. The way I've got this measured right now is it's roughly half of one of these little watering cans. I want a bigger, better watering can at some point here. This one is actually Anya's, and it's just handy laying around, so I've been using that. But at some point I would like a bigger watering can so I don't have to keep filling it up. Or maybe something that's actually the correct amount. Once I've got that super dialed in, then I could just always have the exact amount of water, and then somebody else could water, because I could say, just fill this up to this amount. That's how much water they need. And eventually, I don't know if you can see me. Eventually, we want to systematize everything so that train the kids in it. We could go somewhere and pay someone to look after the plants and know that they're going to be reasonably taken care of, because we have it all systematized and they'll do it exactly the way we would have, because we found a system. But we can't do that. We don't have the margin to do that until we get clients. Clients getting paying customers comes first. So that website, which is so close, garlic chives. These garlic chives, I think I've watered them twice and the soil is just still soaking, so I think they might be a little oversaturated. All right, so the other thing, I also pre-soaked some seed last night for this morning. We'll plant more a little bit later this morning. So I'm just going to drain them so that they're not soaking anymore. And then we've got an experimental set here. These are our cantaloupe seeds. So I pulled these right out of a cantaloupe. We'll see if the cantaloupe was ripe enough for these to grow, but I've been wanting to try cantaloupe. I've heard that there's some really interesting flavors there, so I've been wanting to try those. All right, that's good. And we will go downstairs now and see if any of the kids are up. and begin making breakfast. They are awake. Good morning, Caden. And actually just got the call from Home Hardware that they have the soil in, so that's good. We'll head out sometime this morning with the kids to go get that. And actually, before I do breakfast, I'm going to set one of these traps. Our pantry is an absolute disaster. I'm sure that's not an abnormal story, but
I want to make eggs.
you want to make eggs? Okay. You're gonna help him?
Is this the egg spot? I want this to be the egg spot.
Okay. You coming to help too, Leland? So Trevlin, there's some oil. So you can spread that in the pan first. Do a little, it doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit.
Kids have been helping me make meals, breakfast, wash dishes for months now. Because if you don't know, last October, Jill got ocular shingles, which is really bad shingles in your eye. Even now, she's still in recovery. And when that happened in October, that could have really been a mess. But there's a saying that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And last spring, we had actually heard a podcast where someone was telling a story about how their kids make breakfast for them every single morning. And we thought, our kids might be a little bit young, but we can start.
What is it?
And so we began to systematize meals and train the kids on how to wash dishes, how to clean up, all those kinds of things. And so when Jill got these ocular shingles, instead of falling apart as a family, kids have been such a help.
All right, so bad news. I found evidence of a mouse in our pantry.
Oh.
I heard him crunching this morning,
Okay.
and then I found droppings along the back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I put a trap in. Let your parents know too. Yeah.
Put it down like a race. I can have a little stand that said it's $5 an ornament or something.
Anya is a little entrepreneur, always coming up with ideas for making money, doing business. Jill is off at her osteo appointment. Oh, was that a big bump? You're okay. Here comes the train, see? There's the train. All right, we got the soil right there. Had a whole pallet of it, and everybody else got suckers. That's pretty special that they gave you suckers. That's pretty nice. If you want to play outside for a few minutes, we can probably do that. Okay, slight change of plans. The kids want to play outside for a few minutes because it is so beautiful out here. Just gorgeous. What do you think, Leland? You're going to be happy when the snow is gone because then you'll be able to run around easier. Right now, it's kind of hard for you to run around, isn't it? Our high efficiency furnace makes these huge icicles. Whoa, you okay, Trevlin? We got our new soil. I'm ready to plant. And the downside to not having got to cleaning up last weekend is that I got a pile of dishes to do. Five trays, 2 for broccoli, 1 radish, 1 pea, 1 sunflower. I had been doing all my scooping of soil with this 1 cup, so I am excited to have this that should help speed things up.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
I want to get me a dog.
You don't want to get dirty?
Yeah.
The trays are planted, stacked right here. We have a load of dishes. We got a dirty table. And now it's time to do some washing up and cleaning up. Hey, you want to go back out? You want freedom to go back and forth? Are
you running out of patience on me?
I should mention that Jill has got back and she now has the kids downstairs making lunch. See if I can beat them to lunch being ready and get this cleaned up before they call for lunch. She said the osteo appointment went really well. They actually went a little bit overtime again. The osteo here is really good to us, so we really appreciate that. And the osteo said that she's encouraged by what she's seeing in Jill as far as some of those leftover effects from the shingles and things like that. All right, let's get cleaning up this space. Before we moved into this room, originally when I started this, actually pretty much right when Jill first got shingles, and we were just growing in these little trays right here, which are like actually from Dollarama, and just to see if we liked it, try it out, make sure that it was actually something we wanted to do. And so we were just doing that on the hutch in the living room of the house. And then we were like, okay, we like this. I think we're gonna commit to giving this a try. And then we bought 8 sets of trays because it's a 10-day growing cycle, you actually need 2 sets. So we were doing 4 trays. And Jill's sister had these growing racks just sitting up in this room actually, but they weren't going to need them until even a couple months from now yet. And so we took one of those downstairs into our studio, started growing on that, and just seeing if we could actually grow on a schedule and what it was like to grow bigger trays, and start giving us samples and things like that. And then that started leading into problems of washing those trays and having a lot of product and it taking up our entire fridge, and starting to do research on what we needed in terms of health and safety and all that kind of stuff. And so we said, hey, can we actually just take over that room up there? This was actually a sewing room that had not been used in a while. And so we were able to clean this out and transform it into the microgreens growing room, get this fridge off of a garage sale, and here we are. And the other plus to that is that it's also just super nice to have the sink in the room as far as filling up your watering can for watering the plants. Before, it was like I had to go to a different part of the house to fill up the watering can, and so watering almost literally took twice as long because every time I had to fill up the watering can, I had to go twice as far. So having one that's just like a few steps away from the racks is like really great. All right, done with the dishes. Back to cleaning. The sunflowers spit off their seed holes and they just make a mess all over the floor. And then in addition to that, Leland has been liking to, there's a plant pot just outside the door, and he will go and collect dirt out of that and bring it and just spread it all over the floor in here. So it's a little bit of a mess. And the last thing is to grab the towels, the washcloth, because today is also laundry day. Laundry's in. Okay, so thinking about it, I think first priority this afternoon is probably cleaning out the pantry, just trying to make it a little bit less appetizing for the mice. A little bit of a disaster in here at the moment. This box right here, full of snacks, is what they got into. It was up here. We can see the hole there where they probably got in, so I don't think they got any further than that, but just a general cleanup would be good. First step, get some of this cardboard and recycle out of here. Okay, so I think I've been at it for maybe like an hour, and this little guy has woken up, and I have sufficiently made a giant mess everywhere, which we'll see whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Basically what I found in here is that it looks like it's really only that corner right there that has really any substantial evidence of mice, and kind of along that back ledge. And then there's a little bit around in some of the corners on the bottom shelves only. So it doesn't look like it got up higher than that, and all the food's higher than that. They're all in the upper shelves, so I think we're good there, but it does mean a little bit of rearranging just to make sure there's no food on the low levels or on a place that might be accessible by running along one of these shelves or something like that. So next, I guess I just need to kind of sweep up, vacuum out the corners. Still need to go through that box, or maybe I just toss the whole box. I'm not sure. It'd be easier, less mental energy just to get rid of it all. Too bad. Then I can start putting stuff back. How are you doing? Is that a good nap? You look like you're still waking up. And on a positive note, I've been able to have this window open all afternoon. Air the place out. Okay, so that was a day. I'm exhausted. It's like 7:45 right now, and we've had supper, but basically the entire time was cleaning out the pantry. That's always a way bigger job than it feels like it should be, and there's no exception today. The just gotta check. You gotta pull everything out, check behind everything, make sure there's you know where the mouse was. Try and track that stuff, clean it up, sanitize it, throw out stuff that's sketchy. It's just a lot, and it was a mess. It had been way overdue. So on the plus side, it got done, and it is way cleaner, looks way better, and just finishing our laundry, putting some new washcloths and towels up here. I've got a trap in that corner of this room with some fresh peanut butter on it, just in case that mouse decides he wants to hang out up here at all, and I don't want that. So got one in the pantry, got one in the studio, and or a couple in the studio actually, but reloaded in one in the studio. So the rest of the family's put up some traps in their place too. So hopefully we catch him soon, and it's just the one, and he's just trapped in the building. Not some mice that have found a new way in. Yeah, so it's been a long day. Jill is still feeling really tired. One of the things that can happen after you take osteo, we'd never really done much osteo, but until recently. And one of the things that can happen is that when you get your adjustment and they kind of put things back in place, is that you can get really tired. So today she's just been really tired and done a lot of sleeping. And so we are ready for an evening. And yeah, a little bit disappointed, a little bit frustrated that we didn't get to the website, that it's not done. But that's just the way things are sometimes. And it's not like we didn't take the business forward today. We planted, we picked up soil, and made some, did some good important things that way, and dealt with the mouse. So hopefully shouldn't have to worry about that tomorrow at all, and can get at it and get that website up and move on to the next stage of the business, which is marketing. A lot of today I was just really tired. I was kind of frustrated and annoyed at the way the day had gone. It just was, just in a lot of ways not great. And one of the things though that I'm really liking about, or I really like about the concept of like vlogging like this, is that it starts to train your mind to see things like a mouse happening in them, and all the work that's going to be associated with that as part of the story. Because suddenly I'm living a story. I'm not just living my life, I'm living a story. And a good story has ups and downs, it has hardships, things when things are just never easy like we think they should be. And that's why we don't vlog, right? That's why we weren't vlogging before. We weren't vlogging because we just we thought naively to ourselves, hey, we're just going to start this business. It's going to be easy. Shouldn't be a problem. We'll just get it going and there'll be no drama. So what on earth is there to vlog? And that's kind of the way we think about our lives. Oh, it's good. There's not going to be anything going on. And I mean, really, that's not true. Our lives are full of drama, full of ups and downs and twists and turns and the unexpected obstacles. And yeah, today was no exception. And so, but when you're actually documenting it and you're thinking, hey, this might be something that people will watch, suddenly you're much more aware that, hey, I am in a story, and these ups and downs and these obstacles aren't necessarily a bad thing. They actually make this a much more interesting, much better story. Like, this is can you imagine, okay, if today, for example, it had just gone smoothly. Nothing had really happened. We just got up, got to the website, had no trouble coming up with the copy. It was made, check. Like, there'd be nothing to watch. It would be so boring. But lo and behold, God decides, hey, I'm gonna throw some obstacles in there, and you're gonna have to figure out how to overcome those. And so that's one thing that I'm hoping I will get out of this experience of vlogging, is seeing myself as a character in a story that God's telling, and learning to see these obstacles, the things that happen that are no good, the things that are annoying, that are frustrating, the things that they're not great things to happen. Nobody wants a mouse in their pantry, and to have to go through all the work of that and potentially lose a bunch of valuable items and food. But it does make a good story, and part of a good story is when the character faces those tests and overcomes them, and the person they become because of those tests and those obstacles allows them and prepares them to overcome the even bigger obstacles and the more significant obstacles that are to come later in life. And they are going to come. Everybody's going to face those obstacles. So hopefully I'm doing a little bit of that. Hopefully we're doing a little bit of that. All right, that's all I got. That's all I got tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Living the life of a small business entrepreneur startup in a small town, big family, all the things that happen. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.